All right, today we're going to trace a pretty startling journey. It's a digital metamorphosis that starts in a place a lot of us might recognize, social isolation, but ends somewhere truly dark. We're going to unpack exactly how this transformation can happen, step by step.
So this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? How on earth can something that seems so harmless, so positive, looking for connection, getting those likes, how can that conceal a hidden path towards something as dangerous as radicalization? It's a journey from validation to violence, and it's one we've got to understand.
You see, this whole story, it doesn't actually start with technology. It starts with something deeply, deeply human, the hunger for connection. For anyone who's ever felt a little bit on the outside, a little awkward, you know this hunger isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a powerful, driving force.
And this feeling leads to something psychologists call rejection sensitivity. Now, this is more than just being afraid of rejection. It's the constant, nagging anticipation of it, almost expecting it to happen. And when you're in that state, often because of past struggles, you develop this deep vulnerability and an intense craving for any kind of acceptance you can find.
In fact, there's a really powerful term for this: social hunger. And I want you to really think about that phrase. It's not just some vague loneliness. It's a genuine psychological deprivation. It's as real and as motivating as physical hunger. And when you're starving like that, social media starts to look like this incredible all-you-can-eat buffet.
Okay, so what happens when that intense social hunger finds what looks like the perfect meal? Well, it stumbles upon the digital drug of online validation. And this right here is where our own brain chemistry gets kind of hijacked.
This is the engine that drives the whole machine, the dopamine reward loop. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. You post something, a thought, a picture, you get a like, a comment, and bam, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine, that pleasure chemical, and instantly you're wired to do it again to get another hit. It's an incredibly addictive cycle. And here's the kicker, the reason it's so incredibly effective. The whole reward system is basically designed like a slot machine in Vegas. You never know which post is going to hit the jackpot of likes and shares. And that unpredictability, that variable reward, that's what makes it so addictive and so hard to just walk away from. And this really gets at a huge trade-off that's being made. I mean, think about real friendship, right? It's a two-way street. It's stable, it's reliable, it's built on real support for each other. But online validation, it's a totally different game. It's one-sided, it's transactional, it's all over the place. It gives you the illusion of connection, but it replaces real intimacy with something as hollow as a follower count. So when you're constantly chasing that high, that digital validation, you naturally move into this next phase. You start building a whole new self, that online persona you've so carefully crafted, the one that gets all the likes and shares. It starts to feel more real, maybe even more important than the person you actually are offline. And the first thing that starts to creep in is this sense of grandiosity. That daily flood of likes and comments starts to build this inflated sense of self-importance. All of a sudden, your every thought, your morning coffee, it feels like it deserves this wide audience. And right on the heels of that grandiosity comes entitlement. That audience you built, it stops feeling like a gift and starts feeling like something you are owed. You begin to expect that constant attention, and you get really frustrated or anxious the moment it slows down.
And all of this culminates in a powerful and kind of scary need for admiration. Your self-worth isn't internal anymore. It's been outsourced. It becomes completely dependent on the next notification, the next like, the next comment from a stranger.
Okay, so let's pause for a second. We have a user who is now psychologically hooked on validation. Now, we bring in the other major player in the story, the algorithm. It's like this silent architect that takes this fragile new ego and just builds digital walls around it, creating a perfectly personalized reality.
See, you've got to understand the algorithm's goal isn't truth, it's time. It wants to keep you on the platform for as long as humanly possible. And what glues our eyes to the screen? Strong emotions, controversy, things that get us fired up. So that's exactly what it serves you, creating a personalized echo chamber that confirms everything you already think and filters out anything that might challenge you.
And this is the scary part. This is how that echo chamber can harden into a full-blown radicalization pipeline. It starts with that vulnerability we talked about. The user finds a group that seems to finally explain their pain. Then the algorithm steps in and immerses them completely in that ideology, until, for a small few, the ultimate act of validation seems to be one final terrible action.
And that brings us to the final and frankly tragic destination on this path. For some, the digital rewards, the likes, the shares, they just aren't enough anymore. That hunger for validation and for significance, it needs to be bigger. It escalates, and it spills out into the physical world.
You know, when you look at the patterns in modern extremism, they are eerily, chillingly consistent. It's almost always a story of deep isolation, of feeling like a failure. That's followed by them finding an online ideology they can just merge with. And the final step is planning an act of violence, not just as an attack, but as a final, desperate piece of content designed to get the ultimate level of attention.
And look, this isn't just some theory. We have seen this play out in the most horrific ways in places like Christchurch and Buffalo. The attackers treated their violence like a performance. They live-streamed their atrocities, looking for infamy as the ultimate twisted form of validation. They weren't just attacking people. They were creating a final piece of content.
Okay, so after all of that, the big question is, how do we break this devastating cycle? Well, understanding the path in is the absolute first step to finding a path out. And the solutions, believe it or not, are just as clear as the risks.
So let's just quickly recap those risk factors, the vulnerabilities we've been talking about. We've got social alienation and resentment, an ongoing identity crisis, a desperate search for meaning, and, crucially, a lack of stable offline relationships. These are the cracks that let this poison seep in.
But here's the good news. The things that protect us from this, they are incredibly powerful. And they're things we can all actively build in our own lives. Strong offline friendships, critical thinking skills, a real sense of purpose outside of a screen. These are the anchors that keep us grounded in reality.
So, I want to leave you with one final question. And this one is really for every single one of us. As you're scrolling through your feed tonight, as you post something tomorrow, just stop and ask yourself, is this digital world building me up with genuine connection, or is it slowly boxing me in? The answer really does matter, probably more than we even realize.